Week of August will mark 10 years since Toledo's water crisis, where we couldn't drink, couldn't cook with, or even touch the water for 3 days. A toxic algal bloom positioned right over the water intake made it unsafe and unleashed years of questions. So, has anything been done since then to make it safer? Tim Miller continues our commitment to keeping our water safe.
Water.
Here's to you, Toledo. You did a great job.
That moment in 2014 when late Mayor D. Michael Collins drank a glass of water to signify the end of the 3-day water crisis was a celebration. But then the work really began. Upgrades at the city's water treatment plant, with a lot of dollars being spent to better treat the water and remove microcystin from toxic algal blooms in Lake Erie. There have been millions of dollars pumped into the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative to maintain safe sources of drinking water. And there's the much-publicized H2 Ohio program, championed by Governor Mike DeWine since 2019. It's a water quality initiative that's working to reduce harmful algal blooms caused by phosphorus runoff from farm fields and has added more wetlands in Ohio.
I think 10 years is really sad because we haven't made any progress.
But none of that impresses Sandy Bin, a water quality advocate who calls herself the Lake Erie water keeper.
And I think Ohio and the federal government need to update how they address this issue. You have to do whatever you're going to spend the money on, it has to reduce the amount of phosphorus coming into the system. It's that simple. That's what the feds, Canada and Ohio have agreed to, a 40% reduction in total phosphorus and something called dissolved phosphorus. And we're not doing it.
Bin thinks our leaders have failed to focus on where the phosphorus is coming from. Manure from cows at farms, especially large commercial farms called CAFOs.
If the bad actors, the farmers who refuse to stop their runoff, then government needs to regulate or find a way to get them into the program. Why keep spending money and spinning wheels and trying to make the public think you're doing something for Lake Erie when you really haven't?
Bin also thinks state and federal leaders have never really answered this question: how much phosphorus runoff has actually been reduced? She believes too many cows, chickens, and other farm animals are being concentrated on large farms in the watershed.
If you see those bright green specks floating around in there, that's the blue-green algae.
But Dr. Tom Bridgman of the University of Toledo's Lake Erie Center doesn't see such a bleak outlook for our water 10 years after the crisis.
The lake is no longer getting worse. It's leveled off at a place that we don't want, but we have made progress in terms of that. The trajectory has evened out, but we still need to get the blooms back down and under control.
Dr. Bridgman points to more buoys and monitoring equipment now on the lake that better detect blooms near the water intake. And he applauds the many upgrades to water treatment plants in Toledo and Oregon.
I had been saying, this is a problem, this is going to be a problem, and it was sort of falling on deaf ears for a while, but the water crisis really brought attention to what's going on in Lake Erie. It provided a lot of impetus of state and federal funding so that now we have the funds that we need to go out and do the work that we do.
But he's disappointed major improvements haven't been seen in the lake yet and worries it could take several more years to get there. And Bridgman expects a large toxic algae bloom to form this summer.
This water was actually collected out near Turtle Island, that little island out there.
To fight back, he continues to collect water samples and research why water can turn so toxic. And he's teaching these UT students, even over the summer, how to do it. They are the future of keeping our water clean and safe to drink.
Of course, they're younger, they know more advanced technology, they know a lot more. They're going to be using AI, and they're using satellites and advanced computer programs that are beyond me at this point.
But Sandy Bin, who lives right on Lake Erie in Oregon, still longs for real progress. She's also expecting another bloom, another summer bummer.
I kind of dread because the kids are coming over, the family will be here for the 4th for a grandchild birthday party. And, we have wave runners and we have boat to go out, and, if it's green, nobody wants to go, nor should they. And you just don't know. And it's really disappointing and wrong to have that.
In Oregon, Tim Miller, WTOL 11.
Sandy Bin also blames the state for not requiring farms to have permits for their cattle and the amount of manure. All right.